United Airlines Flight 232 was a scheduled flight from Denver, Colorado to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, with a stopover in Chicago, Illinois. On July 19, 1989, the flight suffered a catastrophic engine failure that led to one of the most dramatic and studied emergency landings in aviation history. Here are the details. Aircraft type McDonnell Douglas DC-1010, tail number N1A9U, flight crew Alfred C. Al Haynes, a veteran pilot with over 29,000 flight hours. First Officer, William Records. Flight Engineer, Dudley Dvorak. Check Airman, Dennis E. Fitch, who was a DC-10 instructor pilot, not part of the original crew, but a passenger on the flight who helped during the emergency. HASH incident, date, July 19, 1989, location, Sioux City, Iowa, USA. Passengers, 285, crew, 11, total on board, 296. Fatalities, survivors, 185. While cruising at 37,000 feet, the number 2 engine, the rear engine located in the tail, experienced an uncontained engine failure. A fan disc in the engine disintegrated due to a manufacturing defect in the titanium alloy used for the disc, causing catastrophic damage. The explosion sent shrapnel through the tail section, cutting off all 3 hydraulic systems. The DC-10's design relied heavily on hydraulics for control, and the loss of all hydraulic fluid meant the aircraft lost almost all control over its flight surfaces, including the rudder, elevators, and ailerons. The response. Despite the total hydraulic failure, the flight crew managed to maintain partial control of the aircraft by adjusting the power to the 2 remaining engines. Dennis Fitch, the off-duty pilot, played a crucial role by helping to manage engine thrust, which became the only way to steer and control the descent. The flight crew attempted to divert to Sioux Gateway Airport in Sioux City, Iowa, for an emergency landing. Due to the lack of precise control, the approach was difficult. The aircraft touched down at a high speed, bounced, and cartwheeled after the right wing struck the runway. The fuselage broke apart, and a post-crash fire consumed parts of the wreckage. Crash and rescue. The crash was violent, but rescue efforts were swift. The fact that the aircraft landed at an airport meant that fire and rescue personnel were prepared and able to respond immediately. Many survivors were seated in the section of the plane that remained relatively intact after the crash. Of the 296 people on board, 111 died due to the crash and fire, while 185 survived, many with injuries. Investigation. The National Transportation Safety Board, NTSB, determined that the engine failure was caused by a fatigue crack in the fan disc of the number 2 engine. The crack had gone undetected during routine maintenance. The investigation led to changes in inspection procedures for engines, particularly those involving titanium compa.